struggling with fondant, you're not alone. From coloring and shaping to fixing sticky messes, this video has everything you need to master fondant like a pro. Avoid common fondant mistakes, learn expert tips and tricks. Ready to level up your cake decorating? Let's dive in.
Fondant cakes are such a challenge for a lot of people, and like most decorators start with making cream cakes and like pretty cream cakes, whipped cream, buttercream cakes, but they can't seem to figure out how to make a fondant cake. And they think to themselves like, fondant cakes are so tough to make, like they're kind of so difficult to get right, so maybe I'm just going to stick to making my cream cakes and just continue with that. So today I'm bringing you a video on 6 things you need to note as a beginner before even attempting fondant cakes that will make your life a lot easier. These are 6 things I wish someone told me, which would have made my fondant journey a lot easier, because I learned on YouTube, guys. Like I literally learned cake decorating on YouTube. Okay, so first thing you need to know, the first things first, like what is the difference between fondant and sugar paste? You see several people talk about, someone is talking about fondant, another person is talking about sugar paste. For a long time I kept thinking, okay, should I buy sugar paste or should I buy fondant? Which one should I use, guys? It is the same thing. Fondant and sugar paste are basically the same thing. I think US calls it fondant, then maybe I think the UK calls it sugar paste. So like people use those words interchangeably, so don't be confused. Fondant and sugar paste are the same thing. So today I'm here to help you with the things you need to know that will make your fondant journey a lot easier if you're looking to attempt to make fondant cakes, soon or anytime soon. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1, which is very important, get very good fondant. Yes, this is extremely important. I can't overemphasize it. First things first, if you don't know how to make fondant and if you don't want to make it yourself and you want to buy, it's best for you to get a really good fondant. There are all sorts of brands out there. There are different kinds of fondant brands, and I don't know them because it depends on what part of the world you are living in or watching this video from. So try out different types. Like you can buy a different one today and a different one tomorrow, just to know which one works for you and suits you best. Okay guys, so number 2, if you're attempting to make a colored cake, maybe a colored fondant cake, and maybe you didn't buy a colored fondant, it's important for you to color your fondant ahead of time, at least maybe a day before. The reason is because the color has had time to settle in, and the fondant also has had time to settle in the color, so like it goes back to that perfect consistency that it was in the beginning. Coloring it immediately and using it immediately like kind of gives you like a skewed, it's not the consistency the makers wanted you to use it as, so it might pose a little difficulty. Okay, so number 3, guys, if you're coloring, use gel food coloring. Please never use liquid food coloring. The reason is because like it changes the consistency of your fondant. So this, remember I'm telling you about already made fondant. This is not even when you make your own fondant yourself that you're not sure if this is the right consistency or not. In this case, the manufacturer made you a product that has the right consistency for you to work with. So if you're coloring it with some liquid coloring, it dilutes that consistency. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Number 4, you need to knead your fondant properly. Yes, so you bought already made fondant. It's already made for you. They made it and it has the perfect consistency, so you don't have to worry about consistency or how well it rolls or how well it works. Basically all you have to do is just use it. So you want to make sure you knead it really well. Yes, I know it is store-bought, but you need to knead it really well still. Like kneading it gives you that consistency and gets you to that place that you're going, that makes it well spreadable and really nice for you to work with. Number 5, so you want to roll it evenly. So after making sure you've kneaded your fondant really well, at least make sure you spend 5 minutes of your time kneading it and like putting your muscles into that fondant. You want to make sure you roll it evenly. So take your rolling pin and be patient and roll it evenly. Make sure you have like an even roll, and if you're not sure it is very even, take your smoother and go on top of it again and try to use a smoother to get it as smooth as possible. Okay, so number 6, which is very important, like I wish I knew this from the beginning. Fondant can't cover imperfections at all. Most people think like when you maybe crumb coat a cake and then it is not well done, don't worry, just put some fondant on it and then it will cover the imperfections, guys. Like you're shooting yourself in the leg. It does the opposite, like it accentuates the imperfections in your cake if your base is not well done. So you want to make sure like when you crumb coat your cake, before putting fondant on it, you have a perfect base, which is really nice for you to put fondant on, because any imperfections on there, fondant is just going to make it worse. So on your race to get the perfect fondant cakes. I hope I have helped you along and motivated you a little with these tips, because these tips would really help you. And I want you to know I'm rooting for you. And if this is your first time trying a fondant cake and you listen to this, my advices, and it works for you, please leave me a comment in the comment section below and give me a thumbs up underneath this video, because I really am rooting for you here, guys, because fondant isn't as daunting as it seems. So thank you guys for always watching my videos, and remember to subscribe to this channel. Hi guys, and welcome back to this channel. Okay, so this is the poke test for fondant for you to know it is ready to roll. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to prep already made fondant for rolling. As you know, if you're buying already made fondant, you can just put it on top of your rolling board and just roll. That's not how it works. It's not going to work like that. Your fondant is going to tear. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do that in 5 easy steps without you putting it in the microwave. Mind you, if you put your already made fondant in the microwave, it is going to spoil the texture. It is going to be like chewing gum when you are done, and it is going to be tearing on your cake, so you don't want that. So today we're going to be using Okrasa. If you live in Eastern Europe, it's a really popular brand around here. They make other things as well. So today we're going to be using this red fondant from Okrasa. So first things first, yeah, I don't use vegetable shortening because in this part of the world Crisco is very expensive. So I use butter. The only downside to butter is that if you're using white fondant, it's going to change the colors just a little bit, just slightly. So the first thing you want to do is spread some butter or vegetable shortening on your board as a first step, and then the second step is to separate your fondant into 2 parts, especially if you're working with more than 1 kg. If it's less than 1 kg, you don't need to separate it, but if it is more than 1 kg, you should separate it into 2 parts, and then start to stretch and knead the fondant on top of the board slowly with the butter. I don't know if you get what I mean. Now I'm kneading. Initially I was stretching. You stretch and knead at intervals. The reason why you're stretching is because it gives you it lets you know when you're using when you should stop using Crisco or butter, so your fondant won't be too soft. Yeah, so you should knead. The kneading makes it soft, and then the stretching makes you know how what is the texture like, what will it look like when you roll. Is it ready? Yes. So once you're done with the first part, start to do the same thing to the second part. So just knead and stretch at intervals. The reason why you don't want to put this in the microwave, have you ever put your pizza in the microwave? It becomes kind of stretchy. Yeah, that's exactly what is going to happen to your fondant. I know in the case of pizza, you're eating it, you don't need to roll it out, but in this case you need to roll it and cover your cake, so it will be breaking. So don't put it to soften it in the microwave. Soften it. The reason why you're kneading and stretching is because the heat from your hands is also softening the fondant instead of putting it in the microwave. So once you're done with that, once they are around the same consistency, you're going to take both of them, the first part and the second part, and then you are going to join it together, and then put some more butter or vegetable shortening on your rolling board or rolling silicone mat, and start to knead and stretch again together, just like you did initially. Guys, if this is your first time on this channel, where have you been? But thank God you're here now, so please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, you're telling YouTube that you like the video, so that way they'll suggest it to more people who might like it, so more people will be likely to see it. So thank you guys for your support. Okay, so if you notice, our fondant is becoming softer than it was initially. So the first time I actually bought ready-made fondant, I bought it and I was like, this fondant is not good. And then I bought another brand and I was like, it is not good as well. I bought 3 brands before I realized that, okay, all of them come, when they come, they are hard. Yes, it's you that needs to soften it, and it took me a while to learn that I don't put it in the microwave, because normally in the case of marshmallow fondant, if I want to soften it, I put it in the microwave. But if you're using already made fondant, don't put it in the microwave, because if you do that, you're going to be destroying the texture. You're going to be messing with the texture that the original producers had in mind, because the heat from the microwave is going to change the texture of your fondant, and that's not what you want. Okay, if you notice now, I'm stretching it, yeah, and it is a lot softer than it was. So it is you who's going to decide, okay, I think it is soft enough or it is not soft enough, depending on what you're used to working with. Some cake decorators are used to working with like a harder, like a firmer fondant, but some people prefer like maybe a softer part because it's easier to manipulate and stuff. So don't put too much shortening, because that way your fondant will become too hard, too soft, I mean. And if it is too soft, all you have to do is just wrap it up. If you have another one to use for that day, wrap it up and leave it till the next day and use another one. By the next day it will be like a little bit harder than normal. Now see how it stretches, like stretching it, like cut it in the middle and stretch. Yeah, this is the consistency I like. So I think this consistency is okay for spreading, and it is best for, especially for beginners. If you're not used to working with fondant, make sure it is not too hard so it doesn't frustrate you. Another way to test if it is ready is to do the poke test. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do that, but initially see the stretch test. This way all you have to do is hold one end and stretch it. If it doesn't cut at all in the middle, then you know you are ready to go. Yeah, you're holding one end of the fondant and cutting some parts and stretching it. Can you see it stretches so well? That's what you want. So if you can't do that, let me show you the poke test. If you're doing the poke test, you want to make sure your fingers can easily go into it without it being too hard. Like it can make like an easy indent that doesn't rise back up. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It doesn't come back up like bread dough. Yeah, so this way it is stable and ready to roll. I hope this video makes it easier for you, especially if you're using fondant for the very first time. Okay, so this was the cake I made with the fondant, and it came out so nice, and the customer really liked it. So thank you guys for watching this video, and give me a thumbs up if you really like it, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my nude fondant. Yes, so today I'm going to show you how to make 3 different shades of nude fondant. Okay, so if this is your first time on this channel, welcome, and I'm glad you're here. So this is my white fondant, and I'm stretching it because before you use fondant at all, the first thing you need to do is knead it properly. You need it to be well kneaded and soft. So make sure you spend at least 3 to 4 minutes kneading your fondant, depending on the size. If it's a lot more, maybe you need up to 10-15 sometimes, because you need to have it well kneaded. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make nude fondant. So the first thing you want to do is take a tiny piece of your fondant. You don't want to color the whole batch. Take a tiny piece and add a little brown. Do you see how much brown I added to that thing? Just a little brown will do. So now I'm putting some cornstarch on my board, on my silicone mat, so it doesn't stick. So the 2 colors we're going to be using today is we're going to be using brown and pink. So if you notice on this channel, yeah, like my cake decorating is on a budget. I know I've said that a million times on this channel. So I don't buy every food coloring. Like I think the only colors I buy are the primary colors and then the neutral colors, like blue, red, yellow. Yes, and then I have white, I have black, I have brown. I think that's all. The other colors I kind of make them myself. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is add a little bit of pink. So the pink, you want to add a little bit more pink and then just knead it. The pink kind of gives it like kind of warms up the flesh tone. Yes, so this is the first shade of fondant we're going to be doing. The more color you add to it, the deeper it will be. So the next thing you want to do is take some white fondant and take a little bit of your nude fondant, yeah, and then add it together. It's going to give you a lighter shade of nude. So if you want to go darker, all you have to do is add a little bit brown and pink to the initial batch. If you want to go lighter, all you need to do is take a little piece of fondant from the first batch you made, and then you want to add a little bit more white. So now we have 2 different shades of nude, yeah. So I'm going to take from the second shade again, and then I'm going to add a little bit more white to make it a little bit lighter. So now we're going to have 3 different shades of nude. So when you're coloring your fondant, it's important for you to color tiny batches first, so that way you can control how much color you have or how little or you get. You can control the shades you want, of course. So make sure you don't color the whole batch at once, so you can have more control on your coloring. So if you notice, now we have 3 different shades. We have a nude that is kind of really deep, and then another one, and then another one, and then I'm going to show you the white one, and then I'm going to put them side by side for you guys to see. So when you're making nude fondant, basically all you're going to need is pink and brown. That's all. Whether you're making for a white person or for a black person or maybe for an Indian, depending on the skin tone of nude you're making, that's how deep you want the color to be. So thank you guys for watching my channel, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you guys 2 ways which I reuse my remnant fondant. Like my remnant fondant scraps, those tiny little pieces of fondant of different colors that you have wrapped up in cling films that you just kept maybe in a container or something. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I use them regardless of color. Okay, so the first thing you want to make sure they are soft enough so they are malleable and they can join together. So I decided, I think this one is not soft enough, so I'll throw that away. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. This one's a soft enough, and they are different colors. So I'm going to be showing you guys today 2 ways with which I use that, because you know me, I don't like to waste any part of my cake decorating ingredients or equipment. So I like to make sure I use everything as much as possible. Okay, so I tried to keep this red apart because it's quite big, so I can use it to make maybe some accessories on a cake that requires like maybe a red accessory. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to knead it properly and then put it aside, and then for this other one I'm going to knead it together. So what you want to do right now is just knead it as much as possible with butter or with vegetable shortening. You guys already know me on this channel. I don't use vegetable shortening because it's kind of expensive in this part of the world, so I use butter. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today, I use it in 2 different ways, and these 2 different ways do not require a particular color. Yeah, that's why regardless of what color you get, you can still make it work. So don't worry, because the color, whatever color you get, for me it's brown today. Whatever color you get depends on the colors you mashed together, and it also depends on the color that is like most prominent in the ones you mashed together, basically. Okay, so like you already guessed, we are going to be covering a cake board. So usually when I do this, sometimes it turns, when it gives me a color I don't really like, that might not fit the color of the cake I'm making that day, what I like to do is add a little black to it. What black does is it will either turn it completely black or turn it gray. Gray matches almost any color you want, so usually I can turn it black or turn it gray or maybe turn it brown or add a little bit of food coloring to it to turn it to make it match the cake I'm doing that day. Do you get? Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just making sure my cake board is wet, and then I'm going to transfer my fondant on top of my cake board, and then I'm going to stretch it and like smoothen it as much as possible before cutting out the excess. This is very easy and this is very fast. This is one of my favorite ways to use remnant fondant because it is fast, it is easy, and like you can use almost any color. So like this is just amazing. So if you try this, please let me know in the comment section. So once I'm done covering the top and like smoothing it and everything, so I'm going to cut out the excess so that like it will be just like my cake board covered in fondant. There won't be any hanging fondant around it and stuff. Okay, so guys, this was our cake board after we covered it. Okay, anyways, I used this cake board to show you guys in another video how to like pipe letters, even though like you didn't learn calligraphy or any of those fancy piping ways that people use on Instagram and stuff. So if you want to see that video, I'm going to put the link right up here. If it's not there yet, please check my description box below. It's because I'm a lazy person. Anyway, so this was me showing you guys with the cake board, so let's keep it moving. Yeah, okay, so the number 2 method which I use to use my remnants fondant is by making chocolate balls. Yeah, gold chocolate balls. Gold fondant balls. Okay, so that's because sometimes when I'm lazy, I just buy chocolate like Maltesers and I color it gold. But most times when I have remnant fondant and I have some time on my hands, I like to make it like this. So what I do is like I roll it into a tiny log and then start to cut the pieces, and then I'm going to roll the pieces in between my palm into round balls, and then I'm going to paint them gold when I'm done. So this is like an amazing way for you to use your remnant fondant. Especially, let me give you guys a tip, especially if you're busy and you don't really have time for this, or if you have a friend around, or or your boyfriend or something, you can just bully somebody into making this for you. This is quite easy. Anybody can make it. All you have to do is give them instructions. Yeah, so that way, like when you have a friend come over while you decorate your cake, you can make them do some of these tiny chores for you. I love it. I love sending my friends around. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing in this video, like you can see, is to cut out tiny pieces. They don't have to be uniform, but you try to make it as uniform as possible, because forming a log already is going to make it as uniform as possible for you, so don't really bother too much about that. So all you have to do is fold it in between your palms, and you want to do it really fast before they dry out, because the softer they are, the rounder the balls you can make, the more flawless the balls you can make, basically. Okay, so once you're done with that, we're going to pour everything in a bowl, and you want to make sure. Another thing I like to do is I like to make different sizes. For example, I can make this size and then make another size that is slightly bigger, and then like another size that is slightly bigger, so that way like I have dimension on my cakes when I'm decorating them. Okay, so once you're done, you want to put them into a dry bowl. Yeah, and I like to do this in batches so I can have several. You get? Yeah, so I like to do like several. So if you have a friend around, that's the best thing to send them. They can do this for you. Like you can just form rolls and then start to, you know, make it into balls with your palms. Like, you know, that's a way to use your friends and family members. Okay, so once you're done, you want to pour it into a bowl, and then just pour some of your edible gold dust on it and just shake. That's all, and you have these beautiful gold fondant balls. They are amazing. They're awesome. You can use them to decorate fondant cakes, cream cakes, cupcakes and stuff. Like I use them for a variety of things. If you check my Instagram page, you're going to see a variety of things that I make with them. Okay, so that's all for our video today. We learned how to use our remnant fondant to cover cake boards, and also to make fondant balls. Thank you guys so much, and please give me a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to this channel.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So here are 5 fondant mistakes to avoid in case you're just starting out with fondant, or maybe you're even very experienced with fondant. It just shows you that once in a while. So today I'm going to be giving you guys some mistakes to avoid. So one of the most important that I learned really late in my cake decoration journey is not to use liquid coloring. Guys, don't use liquid coloring. Fondant is very temperamental, so when you add liquid to it, you're already changing the consistency of your fondant, even if you got the perfect fondant in the first place. So always use gel or dye for coloring. So number 2 is that always make sure your hands are all wet. So that means at intervals you need to be dusting your palms with cornstarch or icing sugar. And some people have naturally like sweaty palms, so make sure you wear gloves, because you don't want to be getting your sweat on your customers to get nasty. So make sure you always wear gloves if you have sweaty palms. Number 3 is that you have to walk very fast. If you think you have to walk fast, then you have to walk faster. Because fondant dries out really fast and it can be very temperamental. So as you're learning to work with fondant, you have to learn to walk really fast. Even if you're a professional, you know the importance of working fast. Number 5 is that there's a difference between gum paste and fondant, so use them accordingly. So number 6 is one of the most important, and I learned it quite late. You don't have to make your own fondant, guys. You can buy. There's fondant everywhere, and they are usually affordable. And if you don't think you can afford it, like add that to your cake price, so that way your customers pay for it. Your cakes will be finer and it will be neater, and they'll be happier for it. So thank you guys for always watching my videos, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So have you ever wondered what was wrong with your fondant cake? No matter how much you smoothened it, it just wouldn't be smooth. Or today you made a perfectly nice cake, and then tomorrow like the fondant is just off. So I'm going to teach you guys today on consistency and how to make the perfect fondant cake every time. So if you make your fondant by yourself, make sure you try different consistencies, guys. Consistency is the key. That way you know like if it's too soft or if it's too strong. Like each time you try different consistency until you find what works for you. And if you're a beginner and you're just starting with fondant, guys, try marshmallow fondant. Yes, don't beat it till you try it. Yeah. Most people do not know how good this fondant is, especially how much control you have over it. So you should do that. Number 3 is if it is too soft, don't add more icing sugar, guys. Add more cornstarch. The reason is because icing sugar kind of has some moisture in it. Sugar is a wet ingredient, so it makes your fondant even more wet, if there's a word like that. Number 4, as much as as you add fondant, icing sugar, or cornstarch to it, always check the consistency. Like as you add, check. As you add, check. That way you'll be on top of the matter. Number 5, guys, if you can afford to buy, just buy. Like I think after a while I started buying because it's a lot less stress and I make my customers pay for it, and it helps you work faster because the last trick is to work faster, guys. Fondant dries out. No matter how good the fondant is, it dries out really fast if you work too slow. So make sure you work fast, and I hope these tricks work for you. So thank you guys for always watching my videos, and I will see you in my future videos. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, come on, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up on this video. So bye.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today guys, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make how to reuse remnant fondant, like how to use fondant that you have at home, just left laying around. And it doesn't have to be the same color, it can be different colors. Like like when you make a cake and you have like some pieces of remnant fondant, like 10 little bits, not even up to 10-15 grams, just make sure you take them and wrap them in cling film and then keep them for further use. So I'm going to be showing you how to reuse all of those fondants. Okay, so let's get started. Hey guys, so I have this fondant here. They're very small because normally before I used to have like so many like random leftovers, different colors, but nowadays I don't really have that much left because I use them from time to time to do random things. So I'm going to be showing you like the primary way I use this fondant. So I took all the colors that I have and I mixed them together, and I had this red one, so I kind of decided the red one was a little too big, so I'm just going to knead it and wrap it and keep it separately. But the other ones are like kneaded them together, so we're going to see the color it forms. So the thing is, you can't really know what color it forms. Do you get? Because it depends on what color of fondant you have, like remnant. So depending on what colors make up the the batch you're trying to use, you can't really know what is going to come out. You get? So normally I like to use it to cover my cake boards for cakes, and if I feel like the color does not match the cake I'm trying to do, I can maybe add a little black to turn it gray, or maybe just to turn it completely black. Basically that's what I do. Okay, so now I'm just kneading it to make sure it is soft enough, so I'm going to take it and keep it aside, and then we're going to cover our cake board with it. So this video is kind of like two things, so you're also going to learn how I cover my cake board. Okay, so now I have this red one, so I'm just going to knead it a little bit and then wrap it and keep it, because I decided I'm not going to add it to the brown one, because why? Because it's kind of a little bit big, so I can add it to maybe the next red cake I have to make. Okay, just make sure when you have remnant fondant like that, for you to be able to reuse it, you need to wrap it in a cling film. You know what cling film is? Yeah, the nylon wrap. Yeah, the nylon wrap. So that way, like, it will stay, like, it won't just dry out and be annoying, because otherwise it will be useless like that. So this is our cake board that we're using today, and this is our fondant. So I kind of like this color, yeah, plus I didn't have any cake I was going to make. I just wanted to use it to show you guys how I use my remnant fondant. So you're going to be needing some cornstarch on your cake, on your mat. And I'm so sorry my mat is torn. I keep saying I'll buy another one, but I never really get to it. Like, I go to the store and I buy different things and I see the mat, but it just keeps my mind. I'm so sorry it's torn, and it's been torn for almost like 3 months now. God, it's embarrassing, but I never remember. I don't know why. Anyway, so we're trying to cover our cake board, and then you want to roll your fondant to at least the perimeter of the cake board you are trying to use. This cake board is about 25 centimeters, so what I'm trying to do is maybe get it to about 30, so it can cover conveniently without stressing me out. So that's what we're going to do. So if you notice I'm kind of rolling it in different directions, that's because that is what's comfortable for me. Yeah, different people say like roll fondant in one direction, don't lift your hand, like just roll it all at once in one fluid motion. That's, I feel like, to me, is gibberish. If you're going to do something, do it however it's convenient for you. That way you even get to find better ways of doing stuff. There is no like one one way to do one thing, so you can even discover a better way of doing it. So like, why? I stick to the rules, yeah. So now what I'm doing is I'm just making sure my cake board is wet. So I took my food brush and I put a little water on it. So I'm trying to make sure the cake board is wet, and I rubbed it. So you want to make sure you rub it on especially the edges of the cake board. So I lifted my fondant. If you see, can you see how thin it is? I lifted my fondant with a rolling pin, and then I'm going to smoothen with my hands. And that's all you have to do. So simple, like extremely simple. So the remnants of this fondant, I'm going to wrap it again and add it to another batch of remnants next time I'm making like remnant fondant. Do you get? That way you don't waste your fondant and you don't waste your money. This fondant is expensive and it's, you know, it's time consuming to make if you make it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to cut off the excess and do it nicely and neatly. So normally I like to use my cake turntable, yeah, so I can use different angles and stuff. So if you lift it with just your hand, you might get like an imprint on your cake board, and you don't want an imprint. So I decided to lift it with a knife or maybe a sharp object. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your turntable, and then you're going to use your knife and then scrape off. You don't have to use a knife, just use a sharp object. It doesn't have to be too sharp, something with just like, you know, a very thin edge, so that way it will cut nicely and neatly and you won't have jagged edges around your cake board. So see what I'm doing? I'm going to turn it and then cut again until I am completely done. And that's all, guys. That's how to reuse, that's how to repurpose your remnant fan, and that way you don't throw anything away. The only thing I throw away is maybe if I don't wrap it well in cling film and it kind of becomes crusty and dries out, then it is useless. But if you wrap it well, it's going to stay moist, and fondant can last after you've used it for, if you store it well in a cool dry place and you don't have mold in your house or anything, it can last 3-4 months even after you've used it before. So make sure you don't waste your stuff, because you know you're trying to make profit. You need to make profit, not waste it. So thank you guys so much for always watching my videos, and I hope you enjoyed this one too. And I will see you in my future tutorials. Yeah, so that's all we did. See, so the remnant again, I'm going to wrap it and add it to the next batch of remnant fondant. It's a cycle that never ends. Okay, so please give me a thumbs up on this video, and I love you guys. Bye.